Hello and welcome back to Random Librarian here on YouTube. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because it is the result of a YouTube rabbit hole that I fell down not even recently, like a while back. But let's just jump right into it. So the rabbit hole that I fell down was anti-MLM content. And not MLM as we use it in the bookish community to mean books in which there are gay characters or men who love men. This is multi-level marketing. It's a very different meaning, and I've seen multi-level marketing described as pyramid schemes before, or something like pyramid schemes, where the big difference is that in a multi-level marketing or a direct market networking or whatever, an MLM or a multi-level marketing company is something, it's a sales kind of thing where it's pyramid-like. It's technically not a pyramid scheme because they sell products. So it's not just the transference of money down a pyramid. It's the people at the top still make the vast majority of the money and they recruit all the people below them, and you can make money from the people below you, but you can technically make money from selling products, from what I understand. And anyways, one of these videos mentioned that there's an MLM for everything, up to and including books. So I figured it would be a good thing to take a peek at and see how that works and what that looks like. So that's what we're doing today. I have my notes with me, so if I'm looking down, it's because I want to remember what I wanted to say. And let's just get into it. According to my Googles, the first iteration of books as a multi-level marketing scheme was like a weird chain letter or chain post on Facebook. And people would say, okay, the idea behind it is you buy one book and send that to one person and then you get 36 books back. And then any books that you receive and you read, you send that to the person who recruited you or tagged you in the thing. And anyone that you recruit, they do the same thing and send you the books that they've read and done. So the idea is you just get many books and you keep passing them along the chain like it's a old-timey fire and you're passing along pails of water to splash on the building, you know? But even when they're created with the best of intentions, these kind of things inevitably run out of steam. So that means that the people who started it end up with all of the books or all of the product or all of the whatever. And the people who joined later might not ever see a return on their investment, whether it's a book or something, of higher worth. The twist here is that this kind of chain letter might be illegal. And I say that because the article that I'll link down below quoted the US Postal Office as saying that they are a form of gambling if they request money or something of value and then promise a substantial return, aka one book to receive 36. I think 36 times your initial investment is a substantial return. Of course, many of us on bookish social medias or just people who enjoy reading in general lend or give books to friends all the time without really expecting one back. So it's maybe it's because it's your friends on Facebook, you're not really that bummed if you get taken for a ride or if you don't get a return on giving someone a book, but ultimately it's not the most harmful iteration of something that could be perceived as a pyramid. Now for the real book MLMs, before I start, please note that I'm only sharing this because I'm fascinated by the whole MLM thing and the anti-MLM videos that are out there. I'm not actually putting any of this information out there for people to go and join one. I don't recommend that you go and join one of these multi-level marketing things. This is just really for found this weird thing on the internet, figured I'd share it. Not for any actions to be taken. And of course, from what I've seen, the vast majority of people lose money in this kind of thing, this kind of MLM. So, please take care of yourself financially and don't jump into this. So mainly what I'm pulling from here is a list of 7 listed book multi-level marketing companies, which doesn't seem like too many, but isn't it weird that it happened 7 times? However, this list only has 2 to like maybe 3 if we're being generous, companies that are actually focused specifically on books. The rest of them are kind of like other types of MLMs that offer books for specific reasons, like a health or like health focused MLM that offers diet books, or a Christian MLM that offers pamphlets and books about their specific branch of Christianity, that kind of thing. So for the 2 companies, 3 if we're being generous again, the compensation plans and like how you actually get money, or like how much money you get from individual sales, is really complicated. Usually it involves different commission percentages for different levels, so like different levels within the company, and also for different items and for different ways in which you sell. A big way to make money in MLMs is to get a percentage of the sales from the people who you've recruited. So your downline is what they call it. If you want to know more about this, please check out the links in the description and like the math that they do to figure it out, because it kind of makes my head spin. So I'm not the right person to be like, well, if you do this, you get this percentage and bull. Like, I don't get it. I'm not trying to join it. It doesn't make sense to me. Other people have made sense of it. So if you're interested in the figures, the links will be in the description. So the 2 like big book specific ones seem to be Usborne Books and More and Barefoot Books. Honorable mention goes to Mary and Martha, which is a religious like home goods kind of MLM, and they sell books and toys for kiddos that are of a religious slant. Weirdly, all 3 of these are for kids. They're just based on kids' books, children's materials. And taking a peek at their catalogs, I saw some series and art styles that seem to be heavily inspired by like the popular series and artists that I have seen in mainstream publishing and mainstream like children's collections at libraries. So it's just an interesting take. UK-based Usborne Books seems to be the biggest offender when it comes to book MLMs. They have a huge back catalog of books. They can be sold through book fairs, parties, online. Like there's a whole bunch of different ways to sell through them. However, as you'll see if you read the Talented Ladies Club link down below, the parent company, so like not the individual sellers, but the Usborne Books parent company, actually makes it so much harder for individual sellers to sell, because despite the variety of books and the ways to sell, they actually sell directly to bookshops, and a lot of their overstock goes to TK Maxx in the UK. So that means you can find it much cheaper elsewhere, and they artificially raise the prices for their like starter pack of the individual books so that it looks like you're getting a better deal on the books than you are. They did the math there. If you buy the books individually as like a purchaser as opposed to someone who's planning to resell it later, you can find them for something like £40 less than the starter pack, which is supposed to be like this benefit for someone joining. The prices are supposed to be like lower than normal so that you can make more of a profit, but that's a lie. In the same way that the non-MLM side of it, like the non-MLM branch of the company, sells to bookstores and sends overstock to TK Maxx, they also sell to schools and libraries. So that's really like narrowing the field and narrowing the amount of people who are even like willing to buy from those that have already bought into the whole Usborne system, which is just wild to me. They also have a minimum monthly sales requirement if you want to get your commission. And it's pretty high, especially for something like books, which, just as someone who reads a lot and likes owning books, it's not like a monthly cost for me. It's like if I go to a bookstore, I'll buy books, or like if someone gives me a gift card, I'll buy books. But like if you're trying to meet your monthly sales every time, you're probably not going to be able to go to the same people who bought last month in order to meet your requirement this month. And it just seems like this company is setting people up for failure. I don't know as much about the other company, Barefoot Books, and I don't want to say it's the same kind of thing, that it's complicated and the commission system doesn't really make sense. You have a minimum required amount that you have to sell each month. Compared to Usborne, it is a little bit of a higher entry cost. So Usborne Books and More, the minimum cost is $75 to get your starter kit, and then you have to make the monthly amount of sales in order to stay active and get your commission. For Barefoot Books, the minimum cost is $159.99, and that's of course more than double. So that's already a huge thing, huge hurdle to get over in order to join a company. But they also try to be a company that focuses on inclusive books, so focusing on characters and stories that can help break stereotypes. And I want to like give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're doing that for good reasons, but my cynical side is kind of worried that they're doing that as a way to attract more people to their MLM and attract more people to the way in which they sell things, which isn't great. So the final thoughts that someone mentioned in this article that I'll again link down below is that the books on offer are different than those offered by Usborne Books and even sometimes by general, more mainstream publication, and that they have a surprisingly good compensation plan. Still probably, like, I think that's more of a comparatively good than like an actually you'll make money doing it this way. But they also say, like, be sure to take into account that the books are going to appeal to a limited audience, and you'll have to plan and think carefully when it comes to trying to make a go of that. So, like I said at the beginning, this isn't really intended to be the nuts and bolts of a book MLM company. It's more just that I'm fascinated that they exist, and especially that there are two that are like so similar and exist seemingly in direct competition with one another. So like I said, if this is something that interests you as well, I'll leave all of the links in the description box down below. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. I was super shocked finding out that this existed, especially knowing that like Usborne has sold to libraries, because like I have never heard of that as a publisher's name. So as a librarian, I haven't come across that. I don't know if that's just because maybe Usborne is more common in the UK because that's where it's based, even though they do have a US branch. But I haven't come across any of these books in any of the libraries where I've worked. So I'd love to hear it if you've seen them, if you think that they are good books, if you've ever tried to be part of one of these companies. If you find this as wild and bonkers as I do, let me know anything in the comments down below, and I will see you guys very shortly. So thanks for watching. Bye.